Okay, this evil elf city. So basically, it's similar to Dro, though I'll call them evil elf city. And there's like a spider, and on its abdomen there, on the back, it has a city on it, and then some kind of like translucent, like part a clockwork temple. Love that. We'll do that one after we finish the sci-fi city with this kind of like big abdomen in the back that's kind of see-through. So think of it as like either it's an organic material that you can see through, or maybe it's a spell, a shield that protects the city, because as the spider is rampaging around through the underworld or wherever it's going, it probably is going to bump into things, and so maybe that spell bubble there on the back kind of keeps it protected. So I'll show you how to make that. This one's really easy. It's only 3 stamps to make this one, but you could change it to whatever you want it to be. It's pretty easy. First, we'll use the spider. Zoom it up. Yeah, it looks really weird when it's scaled up. That's okay. And then we'll also use a city for this. I think this right here works perfect. It's already purple, right? And I think that goes with the evil elf kind of look to it. If you want to make it look a little bit more interesting, we can rotate it a little bit so it's like straight up like this, because it's on a organic being. It's going to be moving around. You would kind of expect to show movement. So if I just rotate it just a little bit like that, it will kind of give the feeling that it's kind of moving back and forth a little bit. That part's done. And then you want to grab from the fantasy battle map style. There's a stamp called an orb right here, just a regular orb, very easy to use. Make sure you're set to 0 when you go to transform this, because that's how the hot bars show up. You notice that if I change it by 1 degree, the hot bars go away. And then I'm just going to go ahead and place it just right on top like this. I'm not going to worry about doing much except for just changing the blend mode. Lighten is generally a good blend mode, even if there's a darker background underneath it. The lighten blend mode is pretty good. So we'll have like this lighten blend mode here. And I'm going to change the hue. Maybe I want like a purplish color to kind of match with that. And then also I'm kind of noticing that part of the tower is sticking out. So what happens if I kind of just increase the size of that like this to get that orb? And then maybe I'll just bring the scale down on this just to make sure that the city is fully inside of the orb there. You can add more stuff inside of that too. Like there are some purple houses, and you'll notice that these houses are part of this set here. So you can go ahead and place these. You could rotate them if you want to show the curvature of the abdomen like this. You could do that. Put another one over here like this. So if you want to add more city, maybe you want to add like a control tower or something, or a control building right here like that if you wanted to. So all kinds of kind of cool things that you can kind of show here. One other thing you want to show is maybe you want to show some height. Like the spider is kind of high up. You could go through right here like this. I'm using a black shape fill, no stroke. And all I did was I'm going to make sure this is blurred. Turn that blur on. Bring the opacity down to around 25%. Most of the shadows, especially the shadows in the fantasy regional style, they're around 25%. So that's about the opacity you want your shadows to be. And so just to show kind of height, I'll just go ahead and put this shadow underneath the spider like that. So it looks like it's kind of hovering over not hovering, but at least that it's showing some kind of shadow to give it the sense of depth. It looks kind of flat on the map because there's no shadow underneath of it. So I just kind of do that. Now you could make the shadow more complex if you wanted to as well. Like you could just take the spider itself and just bring the brightness all the way down, put the blur on, and bring the opacity down around 25%, just like we did. And then just kind of flip this. And then you could, I'm not sure if it'll work or not. You could try it. Let's see here. We could probably flatten it like this. Maybe. Ooh, tough one. Kind of struggling to do that. Let's see. Can I actually make it? Oh, I think I can. Just barely. Let's try that out. What about there? Something like that. You could always do that too if you don't want to do that round shadow. I think that works fine. Let's do that. But see, it's pretty easy to put together. And then, of course, same thing. Maybe you want to add in like that purple light source for the eyes. So I'll just go ahead and place one down, set to normal. This is a nice little trick when it comes to light sources. Sometimes it's hard to see the color and everything. So if you just set it to normal, it won't interact with with a blend mode or anything. And so this way it's easier for you to like play around with the hue. So I can get this purple like color right here like this, and then I'll just scale it down, and then I can fit those right there. Copy paste right in here. And I don't even know if purple is the right one. Maybe that one's better, or maybe a greenish color. I think the green looks a little bit better. So now you kind of have this shadow and a spider there. So we'll create new, and we'll call this the Evil Elf City. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's a great idea, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, the great trick, and it works in a lot of various styles and ways. You just have to transform it a little bit, and you might have to change things up. Like the shadow isn't perfect. Notice here that this leg is detached from here. You might have to fix that in some way or another. Maybe you could use a line with a blur and a black to do that. But either way, the shadows do work. I think it does work in some instances, that it does require a little bit of work to get it to do it right. Let's go ahead and save this, and then we'll go to the sci-fi stuff, and then I'll go over the chat, and we'll go over all of the suggestions. I think one so far, a Clockwork Temple and a Terror Circus, which I'm not sure how to do that, but we'll figure that out. The more crazier, the better, right? It's the challenge is what makes it fun, in my opinion.